Hi, I'm Jake Burkett from Gralian Games, and this is Ancient Enemy Vlog number 1. So I'm just basically making a summary video to sort of explain where we are with the project and what cool stuff we've been putting in the game. So in case you don't know, Ancient Enemy is an RPG card game, and we're building upon our previous game engine in Shadowhand, which used turn-based combat based on Solitaire. But what we've done is tweaked some of the mechanics to make it feel kind of quite different, and obviously it's got an entirely new theme and look. We've been working on it since August 2018, and it's nearing completion, hopefully out this summer soon. And all of the artwork has been done, the music's been done, all the sort of UI and everything has been done. And what I'm doing at the moment is coding away and sort of basically adding everything into the game and making sure it works properly. And so I'm just going to give you a quick tour of some of the things we've done. So one of the things I did was put in all the UI, which is all the buttons and fonts and dialogues and things like this. Currently the sound effects are switched off because that's in progress, so I'll show you more of that when it's done. But we've got, you know, all the backgrounds that Jen Patterson has made for the game. Jim's been working away on the story. Dan made the UI, and Charles made the music. So let's just click start game. I've made a new profile here, and you can see we've got a sort of overview map, and there are 11 chapters spanning across the map, and each one of them has like a mini map. So the first one is very short. I'm just going to cheat and unlock more of them. The next one's got more, and even more on the next one. Right now, one of the cool things about the mini maps, I'm just going to press a cheat key here, is that you've got actually sub paths you can go along to gather resources and things. You don't have to just follow the main path. You can do optional extra paths. Let's go into the inventory because I recently got this working. So it's similar to Shadowhand. You've got various things you can equip, and there's also going to be a skill tree which I haven't finished yet, so I'll show you when that's ready. So I'm going to cheat and add some cards. So I'm going to, each card, you know, you can hover over and expand and see the details. So I'm going to equip a melee weapon, a magic attack here, and a magic defense spell. Okay. We've also got a variety of sort of gear, which means various bombs that you can throw, potions you can take, and special abilities. Some of them are passive and you can equip those, and some of them are active, so they kind of do really cool stuff. I might show you a couple of those. Okay, so let's go into the game. Now, as I said, there's a story in the game, and Jim's been writing the story. And the story has got music again by Charles to set the atmosphere. And the first level in the game is a sort of tutorial level, very much like the one in Shadowhand, just to get people used to the mechanics. So you just play and you remove the cards up or down from the level, the card at the bottom. But I'm just going to skip ahead onto the next level, which has an enemy. So again, the enemy might show up in the story sometimes, and we're going to fight this enemy. So there will be all sorts of different layouts. This is just a test layout that I've made, but I want to explain about the cards. So each card has a suit on, and there are 3 suits. So you might see this melee suit, and it corresponds to the melee card, the magic one to the magic attacks, and these are defense icons which correspond to the magic defense. So as I play, each card I get begins to charge up my attack, the various actions that I can take. Okay, the main big difference from Shadowhand is that in Shadowhand, when you ended your turn, the enemy played the cards as well. Well, in Ancient Enemy that doesn't happen. What's happening is they're sort of indicating their next move, and their cards charge up automatically. So you've got a very good idea about what's coming along, and then you can strategize accordingly. So I'm going to end my turn, and this enemy is going to do a sort of melee attack on me. But I want to charge up, say, my melee attack, and I can do one back and so on. They've buffed themselves with a physical defense spell, And I've got other cards as well here. So this skull does instant damage. So if I click that, it just does a bit of damage to them. And this one gives me some defense. Now, you don't start with defense. You start with none, but you have to cast spells in order to gain defense. So I'm going to just cast Iron Skin, which will give me some defense. Unfortunately, that only gave me physical defense, not magical defense. So the enemy's fireball got through that, but it would have blocked any physical attacks. And as per Shadowhand, you know, you're going to be able to sort of examine the enemy cards before you begin the match, and equip yourself with the right sort of spells to defeat them, spells and abilities. And some enemies may have resistances and so on. One of the things we've done, actually I'm going to restart this level in Shadowhand, is in Ancient Enemy, which is different from Shadowhand, is when you equip pre-fight now, you can see the enemy on the inventory, so you can definitely sort of strategize and pick the right stuff. Anyway, let's go back. So we've also got these active abilities. Now in Shadowhand, these charged up over time, but what happens in this game is they're instant. Okay, you can use them immediately, but only once per fight, unless you find a special recharge card, which I'll show you in a minute. So I'm just going to blast away a bunch of cards with this, and they automatically charge up my abilities. This one's quite cool. This one, if I select, say, let's say I want to charge up my melee weapon, if I hit this one, it will change all the other cards to match, and then I can sort of hopefully get a small run here and charge up my melee attack. Combos do stuff in this game as well. They boost the power of all of your spells, so you want to try and get a combo where possible. So actually this is a recharge spell. It will recharge my abilities, and then I can actually sort of use it again if I wanted. So I could potentially do this and charge up my magic attacks. We also, I'm going to cheat again and press a key here. We've also got loads of Joker equivalents. They're called worms in this game, and they allow me to sort of play any card on top of them. Let's get some defense going here. And also there's this button here, which is a refresh button. So if you ever run out of sort of cards to play, you can actually just refresh the layout and get a fresh layout, but you're only limited to one of those per round unless you upgrade it later via the skill tree. I'm just going to do one of my spells on the enemy. This is a cool one I made, Pyre. It looks like a nice fire effect, so that's pretty neat. So kind of that's an idea about how the gameplay works. Without going into mega detail, I'll do more stuff later, sort of showing the various tactics and so on. And what else was I going to show? Just a couple more enemies really. Let me skip ahead to a different background here. So we've got a whole bunch of different enemies in the game, sort of loosely based on some British folkloric creatures and other ones from Jim's imagination. So there's this fungal boar here, which is pretty bad because it charges at you and mashes you like that. We've also got golems, and there's standard ones and ember golem. So this ember golem, I'll let him charge up. He'll do flames on me. And we've got a lot of cool enemies, and I'll show more about those soon. But basically, the game is progressing well. I need to add in a few more enemies, make a few more collectible cards work in the next couple of weeks, and add in the skill tree. And then it's really kind of like balancing and tuning all the levels and just making sure we're happy with the overall game polish, and then release later this summer. So anyway, stay tuned for more vlogs coming this way soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.